Alright guys, so I thought I'd finish up the story here that I was telling the other day. This was the email that I sent out, and I actually got distracted by Bigfoot stories. And needless to say, I forgot to send a follow-up email to this, and I've gotten some requests. Some people sent me some emails, and they're like, hey, can you finish your story on the hitchhiker? Okay, so here's, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Okay, so here in this story here, you can see right here, I'd finished cleaning up and, mopping the floors and the whole 9 yards, and this large man had been outside of my gas station. Okay, so I was like, alright, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I looked outside, looked out in the parking lot. I didn't see this guy. So I thought, okay, it's safe to make a dash for my car, which was down at the bottom of this long concrete, paved parking lot. Way down by this tree line. It was like wonderful. Why did I have to park all the way down there this night? It was foggy outside. It was rainy. I was like, this is just great. So I looked outside, didn't see anybody out there. The parking lot, of course, was completely empty. It was dark outside. It didn't help that the pump lights were out. And there was one light on the outside of the building that flickered. I am not joking. It flickered. Never failed. It would flicker every few minutes, and I'm like, oh, well, that's wonderful. That just adds the whole ambiance here of creepiness, right? So I look out again. I make sure no one's in the parking lot. I couldn't see anybody out there. I couldn't see anything, in fact. So I stepped outside, turned around, I locked the door, locked the bottom lock, and then locked the top lock, the deadbolt, right? Because I had the key. So I turned around, and my hair literally stood up on end, because standing there face to face was this man, the hitchhiker. I don't know where he came from. I did not see him out in that parking lot. I have no idea how in the world he got up on me so quickly. I mean, one moment he was not there, and the next moment I turn around and we are face to face. He's about 12 inches away from me, right up in my grill. And way taller than me. Big, tall. He looked like the Undertaker from WWE, if you remember the wrestling guy. He looked just like him. Tall, wide, well-built, big black trench coat on. He had black pants on. He had a black duffel bag. He had a big old round-brimmed cowboy hat that was black. He had long, stringy, wet black hair. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I've got this man in front of me. What do I do? There's no way I'm outrun him. I'm just not. I'm not going to outrun him. He was right there. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm staring back at this guy. I must have looked like a little mouse in front of him. I was terrified. And I asked him, I said, what can I help you with? That was my first response. What can I help you with? And he said, where's the nearest hospital? And I thought, oh my lord. Oh my gosh, the nearest hospital is too far away. I said, it's in Warrenton. I said, about 12 miles up the road that direction, right? And pointed, to the left. So he said, okay, I'll walk. Turns around, starts walking off across the parking lot. I'm like, whoo, I dodged a bullet. Okay, well, I started walking to my car quickly. I quickly made it down to my car, opened up the door. I was driving a 1995 white Dodge Neon. So I climbed inside, turned on the car, ding, ding, ding. It did its thing. Lights came on. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, that was a close call. And as I was sitting there, my heartstrings were pulled by this stranger walking to the hospital. It is, honestly, the fog is as thick as pea soup. I mean, it was very thick fog. Trucks were coming down that road. It was a 4-lane highway. Trucks are heading down Route 29. Big old headlights coming through the fog. It's rainy. It's cold. And I felt bad. Don't ask me why, but I felt bad. I thought, oh my gosh, this man's going to get run over. So I drive up through the parking lot to where he is, and I roll down my window, And oh, jeez. Oh, I can't believe I did it. I cannot believe I did that. Oh. So I rolled down my window and I asked him, I said, would you like a ride to the hospital? I'll drive you up there. Okay, so he said, sure, yeah, thank you. So I got out of my car, opened up the trunk, and I said, hey, you gotta put your bag in here. I was thinking if he's got weapons in there, like a battle axe, cutting tools, a kill kit, drop the kill bag in my trunk. May have a better chance here against this dude, right? So he's like, sure. So he put it in my trunk. He went over, unlocked the door. He got in the passenger side front seat, and I told him, can't sit in the back, gotta sit up here. I was thinking, okay, he could strangle me from the back seat or stab me or something, right? So we take off. I start driving off. I pull out of the parking lot and I get on 29. I'm heading towards Warrenton, and we're just cruising along. Now it's about 2:30 in the morning, and my house was the opposite direction, it was about 15 miles in the opposite direction from that gas station. So I was like, okay, well, it's a little on my way, but, I'll bring him up here. So I tried to small talk him. So how are you doing? I'm okay. Okay, where are you coming from? That's how he responded. So I was like, okay, have you had a long trip? Yep. I was like, oh man, this guy is a man of few words. All right, so we're cruising along, and it's kind of a hilly road, hilly situation, and I'm coming up to the main, getting off of 29 and getting on 29 Business, which takes you past like a Walmart in Warrenton, and you drive along that and you come up to Fauquier Hospital, which literally sounds like FU Hospital, which it would make perfect sense because that hospital is horrible. They got like a D- rating, okay? So, horrible hospital. But anyways, so I'm coming up to this stoplight, and Lord Fairfax Community College was over on the right, with the landfill over that direction. And so I'm coming up to the stoplight, and the light is red. And so I'm slowing down, and so I curiosity just hit me. So I said, so why are you going to the hospital? You look like you're in good shape. What's going on? And as that moment hit, without missing a beat, the hitchhiker responded, I'm schizophrenic and I've been off my meds for 3 weeks. Okay, it was at that moment that time stopped. I've got to tell you, I'm cruising along at about 60 miles per hour in this, foggy road, rainy fog, the whole 9 yards. I'm slowing down. I was doing 60. I was slowing down. I was doing about 40, 45 at this point because it's a red light. So I was slowing down to stop, right? At that very moment, when he said that he was a schizophrenic and he'd been off his meds for 3 weeks, it went into emergency mode. I remember 2 things happened immediately. One, I punched with my right fist the dashboard, which had the emergency lights. There was a button right up there on Dodge Neon. Emergency light, bam, I popped that. The lights turned on. The orange lights did, the flickering lights. Okay, bam, I punched that. The second thing that happened was at that moment, time froze, okay? Everything came to a standstill. I mean, it slowed all the way down to like nil, okay? I could see the windshield wiper in slow motion going across my window, and I heard it as it popped across my windshield. Like that, right? The raindrops are slowly dropping on my window. I can like see in 3D, right? These raindrops are dropping, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I stomp the gas, I go through that red light, and I hit this puddle of water right in the middle of the road, right? The car did 2 360s. I spun around 2 times. I didn't give a damn what was about to happen at that point. I was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. This is not happening. Stomped the gas. It righted. The car got right. I almost hit the stop sign on the other side of the road. I ran into the grass a little bit. And I literally drove at 100 miles per hour the rest of the way to that, not hotel, the rest of the way to the hospital. I mean, I ran every red light through there. Emergency lights were on. I ran through every light. I didn't care if there was a cop behind me. I wasn't stopping. I pull up to the hospital, up to the emergency room. I got out quickly, opened up the trunk, and the man got out, and he grabbed his bag and didn't say a word to me, just walked inside, you know. And I was like, just go on through those doors. I'll take care of you, sir. Have a great night. I get back in my car. I'm driving off, and I hit off the emergency lights, and I just stopped. I remember I stopped at the bottom of the parking lot of the hospital. And this moment of relief just poured over me. You know that feeling of elation where it just... this cold chill went through my system. And this relief went through because I thought, oh my gosh. I cannot believe, first off, that I picked up a hitchhiker. I can't believe I picked up a hitchhiker at 2:30 in the morning. And that on the way to the hospital, he tells me he's a schizophrenic and he's been off his meds for 3 weeks. I could have had a freaking serial killer in my car, and I didn't even know it. And at that moment when he told me that, I mean, it freaked me out so bad. And I never picked up another person again. I never picked up another hitchhiker. I never offered anyone else a ride unless I knew them personally. And even when I've done that, I've always asked someone else to come along and be like, hey, we're heading over, take this person over to the shelter or something like that, and they'll hop in the car and off we'll go. But I learned a very valuable lesson that day because you never know who you're going to run into out there. So there you go. There's the hitchhiker story for you. That was a scary moment for me. I didn't end up... I didn't work many nights after that. Not just because of that event, but I almost got robbed by these guys that looked like they were in a freaking gang. Anyways, I almost got robbed one night, and I was like, this isn't worth it. It's not worth it to work a late night job like that and lose your life over a few bucks, right? So, anyways, there's the hitchhiker story. I thought I would just finish it up for y'all. Be a lot easier to tell you in video format versus writing out an entire book here. So, anyways, hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, and gobble gobble. Cheers.